All right. Let's go. Welcome to today's Talking to You and Me. We are going to be breaking down some of the most significant aspects of goal setting today. As we are entering 2023, all of us have to know how to do this better, how to make it happen at a high level, how to create the strategy that we need to create. And a part of creating that strategy is goal setting. So for the next few sessions, we're going to be talking about how do you make goals work? How do you write them correctly? How do you think about them in the right way? How do you use them to project yourself and your team forward ambitiously? And how do you take all the tools and all the benefits that you need to really embrace in setting your goals and making your plans to be more successful in 2023 and beyond? Goal setting, it turns out, is one of the most significant aspects of achieving the things that you want to achieve in your life, becoming the person that you want to become, and generally leaving the legacy and creating the brand that you're trying to create. Without goals to do something, it's very, very difficult to measure success. It's very, very difficult to begin to even conceptualize and articulate what winning looks like. And so this is an imperative part of your professional life, your professional development, and how you move forward. Now, I've done some research and I've done some studies, and I'm going to share some preliminary work today with you guys on goal setting. I'm calling it my Goal Setting 101 Playbook, right? So I'm going to share with you a lot of information. And over the next few weeks, we're going to be breaking down what goal setting is all about. Now, if you've been following what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks, these last couple of weeks have all been about executing your VisionQuest plan. The VisionQuest planning process is a strategy that I created years ago, and I've just updated it for current reality. So those of you who are interested in pursuing the VisionQuest plan for yourself and really understanding the entirety of the whole planning process, breakdown of what vision and vision, what it looks like, what it means, mission, how to get to your goals better, and how to break down the habits that you need to break down and create and generate the kind of habits you need to create with the people that you need to do all this with, so that you can be super successful super quickly. Definitely give me a call. My numbers and everything is going to be rolling across the screen in just a second as soon as I figure out how to turn that on, which I'll do. And let me make sure I do that. Okay, yeah, we go. There's our banners. Okay, so you'll be able to contact me, and with anything you're thinking about, anything you want to do, anything you want to share or understand, I've got some phenomenal deals that I'm putting in front of people right now. And I've got about 5 slots that are available for my coaching practice. And I'm really, really busy. I usually can work with maybe 10 to 15 clients at a time. And right now I'm almost at capacity, but I'm going to make for this New Year's a couple spots. I'm going to open up a couple slots for people to take that really, really want to ramp up their lives and really grow in a specific, more meaningful way. I'm looking for entrepreneurs. I'm looking for doctors, lawyers, engineers, architects, anybody with a professional license to do what they do that really wants to execute on a high level this year and make some magic happen. If you think you might be one of these people, pick up the phone, give me a call. Let's talk about the VisionQuest90 process. Let's talk about how we can use this process to elevate your success and create for you the environment that you need to have to be super, super happy, not just successful. I'm not just interested in just you achieving a few things here and there. I want you to thrive. I believe we all deserve to be satisfied, to thrive, to be happy, and to do the things that matter in this world. And so if you're of that ilk and you're thinking like that, definitely give me a call. There's so much I have going on, so much that is available to you, including, by the way, for those of you who are I got a leverage up, next leverage up quarterly virtual business conference that I run every quarter. And it's becoming super popular, super successful. So many people are getting involved in it. I mean, I've got some of the, I'm just blown away with the talent that I'm able to bring to the table for the business community, for the small women-owned and minority-owned business community. We're going to be talking about the things that affect our world. We're going to talk about the politics, the economics, the social atmosphere. We're going to talk about the technology. We're going to talk about the legal aspects, and we're going to talk about the whole ecosystem and how it all works together to give the best advantages to the people who are cognizant of what's going on and how you can do it. So we're going to be sharing tons of tools and tons of resources and tons of people. If you don't got a ticket right now to come to the Leverage Up Conference, you are missing out on an amazing opportunity that I don't want to see you miss out on. So it is literally priced to move. I see my girl Nene is out there. Oh, that's so wonderful to have you. Thank you so very much, Nene. Why don't you put in the chat, tell us where you are, where you're coming from. If you have a business, feel free to share your links. We are a business friendly atmosphere. We want to make sure that entrepreneurs and business leaders all over the country, all over the world even, have the opportunity to express their thoughts, their ideas, and to share in what not just what we have to say here today, but what's going on. So Nene, you out there, definitely, let us know who you are, what city you're from. We'll give you a shout out and have everybody get to see you. There she is right there. Nene's coming in from Facebook. That's wonderful. Good to see you. I got people coming in from Facebook, from LinkedIn, from YouTube, and from all over the world. So thank you. Welcome to the show, Nene. Again, if you want to tell us who you are, where you're coming from, I sure would appreciate that. And if you have any questions, if anybody has any questions out there, it doesn't matter. Today we're talking about goal setting. If you have any questions about your goals, anything you want to know more about when it comes to setting goals and how to do them correctly, or any issues that you have, put it in the chat. Let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. I might be able to get to it during the show. I might get to it later on. You never know. Somebody else who's watching the show, even at a later time, might see your thought in the chat and have a response for you. And so, the thing is, if you don't share not just what you're doing and what you have available to you, or if you don't share what the issues are, the problems that you may have, how will others be of value to you, and how will you be of value to others? It's so critically important that I learned this from Jesse Jackson many years ago. I was listening to a presentation he was doing. He was talking about getting your light out from under the bushel, right? He was talking about learning how to shine your light, the light that is inside of you, learning how to broadcast it and put it out there for the world to see, and not be afraid of your own light and your own gift. We all have talents. We all have gifts. We've been endowed with these things by our Creator, and it's not for us to sit on it. It's not for us to just act like we're not special, or we don't bring anything to the table. Of course we are, and of course we bring something to the table. And I know life is depressing, and I know that oftentimes people have put you down and made you feel small and made you feel less than, but you don't have to stay there. Because you are a child of God, and you are a person who can do things, who can do great, wonderful, and magnificent things, and you deserve to let your light shine on the rest of the world. And you never know who might join in and help you, but you got to be willing to articulate it. If you don't get anything out of today's session, get this: it is super important that not that you have goals. Okay, that's great, but you have well-written, well-developed and articulated goals that you can share with the people that you need to share them with at a drop of a dime. If you don't have well-written, well-articulated, brilliantly articulated goals, you're coming up short. And and not just you are coming up short, you're forcing others to come up short in terms of how they deal with you. Because when I know what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to accomplish, what you're going for, what you're putting your resources and your time and your effort into, then I have the choice, upon hearing it and understanding, I have the choice to lean in. I have the choice to exercise whatever talent, resources that I can bring to the table to assist you. Because what am I trying to do in life? I'm trying to be meaningful. I'm trying to be relevant. I'm trying to share information. I'm trying to do things with people that are moving things forward. Everybody wants to play with the winner. So if you're planning to win, let me know how you're planning to win. You know what your version of the Super Bowl is. You know what you're trying to achieve. You know the reasons why. But if you don't share those reasons and you don't share what you're trying to do, how can anybody come to help you? How can you empower others and inspire others to jump on board? That's a part of what goal setting does for you. You know, it does so much more for you. We're going to get a little into that later on in the show. But before we do that, I want to make sure I take the time, again, like I did with Nene, if you have something that's on your heart and your mind when it comes to goal setting, mention that in the chat. Even if it's a statement that you want to make, you don't have to have a question. You know, if it's something you want to share, something that you want to, you want to amen, you want to give us, do whatever you do. Like Nene says, I'm dropping jewels. I love you for that. Thank you so very much. It's so important that, we show up, and we have to show up and not in a small way, show up in a big way. Show up in a way that it counts. Show up in a way that it matters. Annette, I see you out there, girl. Another of my favorite buddies from Facebook. Thank you for sharing. Thanks for coming in today. It's good to see you. Again, put your information in the chat. If you have any questions about goal setting, any thoughts or ideas about goal setting, put them there. I want this to be an interactive moment for us. I want us to be able to share and do all the things that we need to do to come out on the side of greatness, because everybody deserves it. Everybody deserves to be amazing. Everybody deserves to be great, and everybody is. But when we don't know it, you're not showing it. How do we embrace you? How do we give you the love, the respect, the honor, the dignity that you deserve in life if you are keeping your light under the bushel, as Brother Jesse Jackson would say? So you gotta let your light shine. That's what goal setting is all about. Trying to help you figure out how to get done the things that you need to get done to move you, your family, your teams, your organization, your community forward, right? It's so super, super important. I love this. Nene said, I desire to share information to others, so I am working on content creation. The I ams, absolutely. So super important, because we all have a voice. We all have so much to share. We all have so many ideas that are percolating in our minds, and they deserve their space. They deserve their time. And there's no excuses today. Just like I'm doing right now, pointing the camera and sharing with you. Everybody can do it. If I could do it, certainly you can. And I'm not a technophobe by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm also not a genius in embracing all the technologies and tools that are out there. I'm learning. I'm what they call a growth product and movement, or product and place. Somebody give me the phrase that I'm trying to think about. If you're out there, we're all unfinished projects, right? None of us is a finished product. And so, just like you, I'm growing. I'm moving forward. I'm sharing. Don't let these gray hairs and this beard, make you think I know everything. I certainly don't. And I'm certainly open to learning, open to growing, and open to sharing as much as I possibly can, because I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to, have a little egg on my face or make a couple stumbles and some mistakes. That's going to happen, because perfection is impossible, but it is a pursuit. Just like excellence, right? People are like, oh, excellence is my touchstone. I want to be the best. That's great. We all do. We all want to be excellent. We all want to be great. We all want to be. It's a pursuit. It's not something we can all do all the time, everywhere. It's not even possible. People that you think, that you see these images of how wonderful somebody is and how great they are and what they do. That's wonderful. But guess what? They can't be all that all the time. It really can't. It's impossible. And so for people who look like they're perfect all the time, they show up to me as inauthentic. They show up to me as people who don't necessarily put their pants on one leg at a time, even when I know that's exactly what they do. They know different than me when it comes to that, right? But we get twisted in the image that sometimes people put in front of us, the brand that people put in front of us, and we forget that we're all human. And in that regard, we all have possibility. We all have things that we are endowed with, gifts that we are endowed with, talents that we have that are better than most, right? But if we don't take the time to honor those talents and to use them well, then we run the risk of letting the light that we have die inside of us. I can't stress this more than anything else. Don't let that happen. Set your goals. Make them brilliantly articulated. Share them with your stakeholders and everybody who loves you. All right, because that's going to be what becomes powerful when it's all said and done. You know, take advantage of your mentors. In fact, I'm going to show you a couple of mentors of mine. Check these guys out. And those gentlemen are my mentors. And they are one of the three geniuses that helped develop the Department of Pan-African Studies at Kent State University. That is Dr. Halim El-Dab. That is Dr. Tim Crosby. Dr. William Crosby, and then my good boy Tim Williams. Now Tim was an undergrad under Dr. Crosby when the department was first started. He ended up becoming a department chair and head of the department in his last years of life. But I got a chance to know them all. I got a chance to sit down with these gentlemen and learn a lot from them and figure out who I was under their tutelage. And that was so super powerful for me. It was so super eye-opening for me that I love to share the lessons that I learned from them and from all the things that they made accessible to me, like Dr. Naeem Akbar and Dr. Maulana Karenga and Francis Cress Welsing and George Johnson and so many intellectual fathers, so to speak, that helped to shape me and who I am and the way I think and the way I want to express myself and the value that I want to bring to my community. And so when I chose the small business community as a community I want to play with, obviously I had to start to think about, well, how do I want to do this? What am I going to use as markers of my achievement? And one of the markers of my achievement is my ability every Friday to do exactly what we're doing right now, to sit down and have discussions with entrepreneurs that matter, discussions that touch lives, discussions that help people open up to new possibilities, and discussions that help people think at a higher level than they may be doing while the whirlwind of their lives is kicking them in the butt, right? I love doing that. I used to do this live at a local coffee shop, and I think I'm going to go back to that, but I can't give up my online audience. So I probably will do a hybrid version where I'm using the online tools that are necessary, and I'll be broadcasting live from the local Panera Bread as soon as I start getting the deal work out with them that I want to get worked out. But this is something that is a part of my plan to help as many small businesses as I possibly can to grow, because I can't personally coach them all. I can't work with them all directly. So I have to work with them indirectly. But here I share all the tools. I make sure I don't hold anything back. So there's no question that is a stupid question. There's no thought process that I think that we can't honor and share, as long as it's something that uplifts and is positive. If you have something that you want to share that's just negative and does more to damage people, then I'm not going to be sharing that with you. In fact, I'll probably block you from having any access to anything I say and do in the future. So if you're one of those people out there, just keep quiet and watch. Maybe you'll open yourself up and you open your heart up to learning and develop some new attitudes about some things. But in any case, let's get this party started. We're talking about goal setting today. And we're going to be talking about goal setting for the next couple of days. So I'm not going to rush this, but I will tell you in the course of the next couple of weeks, here's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn to be able to define and use goals really, really well, right? You're going to be able to understand how to deploy the SMART techniques, right? SMART is an acronym that we'll get into. You're going to learn how to avoid the most common goal setting mistakes that people make all the time. You're going to use a goal setting to focus, motivate, and to execute forward-moving decisions. You're going to be able to create powerful, people-centric goals for your team and your family, and you'll be able to generate powerful alignment in a way that it matters most to you, your families, and your teams. That's what we're going to start off to do over the next couple of weeks as we talk about goals. And we're going to talk about goals from every possible angle that you can imagine, right? So first of all, what is goal setting? Let's get into it. What is it? Ultimately, goal setting is an opportunity to design a strategy that motivates and guides me and those that depend on me towards achievement. Without goals, we're going nowhere fast, right? That's why we should all live in a goal setting mode all of the time. You don't just set it and forget it, because if you set it and forget it, guess what? The thing that you forgot doesn't get done. You have to have your goals, to put your goals in front of you. You have to tweak your goals, you have to change them when they need to be changed. You have to update them when they need to be updated. And they have to be an active part of how you do you, right? Goals are the actual things that have to get done to move you and your people forward on your chosen path. So no matter how you express it, without goals, you can't get stuff done. Or you might get stuff done. Don't get me wrong. I mean, stuff is going to happen whether you have goals or not. But what stuff is it? Is it your stuff or somebody else's stuff? You got to be able to set your goals. There are a couple of questions that goals help you answer. We're going to go through those questions right now. One of the big questions that goals help you answer is, what things must you achieve along the way towards whatever you want to say achievement is? So in 2023, what things must you achieve? You have to. Now, the have to achieve it could be for many different reasons. It could be for reasons of, I got to keep the lights on. Or it could be for reasons of, I got to make sure I have enough for my kid to go to college. Or it could be for the reason I got to make sure I have enough to meet payroll. Or it could be for the reason that I got to make sure I do this in order to just feel like I'm doing something meaningful and I'm doing something right. Whatever it is you're trying to set out to achieve, the things that are measurable, the things that are not measurable, right? If you don't have goals to do them, then it's going to be really, really difficult to say, I've arrived at this point, whatever the point is. And so imagine, you want to have a successful business, but you have no idea of how you define successful business for you, right? Are you looking for somebody else to define what successful business is for you? Or are you waiting for a mystical, magical fairy to come along and go, well, I will be successful when the universe says I'm successful? And that could work, but it's not likely to work. It's not as likely this work is to say, you know what, I need to generate $1 million of revenue by the end of 2023. That's a goal. Is it specific? Yes, it's specific. Is it measurable? Yes, it's measurable. Is it achievable? Well, I don't know about that, right? But it's definitely specific. It's definitely measurable. It's possibly achievable depending on what your business is and what your skills are and who your resources are and all that kind of stuff, right? But also it has to be relevant. Is that relevant? Is that something that really means something to you? Achieving $1 million of revenue is, if it's not relevant to you, you probably won't achieve it. And is it timely? By the end of the year, that's timely. So by December 31st, 2023, right, you will have achieved that. That's an example of what goals should look like. They should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. We'll get a little bit more into that later on, but I just wanted to share that with you. And so if your goals are a measurement of or the pace of your achievement, or the strategy that you go out to achieve whatever you want to achieve in your life, that's going to be something that's going to be very, very useful tool, right? The other question your goals should answer for you is, where are the natural checkpoints that you have to make sure that you hit in order to stay on track toward the trajectory of whatever your overall plan for your life and your business is? Life exists. There's many goals you have to hit. There's many things you have to achieve, whether that's I'm going to lose a couple pounds this month, or I'm going to, kiss my wife 10,000 times for the next couple of years, or whatever that is, whatever the goal is you're trying to get to, however it's going to impact and improve your life, however it's going to be smart, right, for you, right? You have to have some checkpoints to let you know that you've arrived. Other than that, you might overdo it. You might overshoot the runway, or you might not get there at all. You could pretend like you're getting somewhere, but you're not getting anywhere because you don't have a tool by which to measure what it is you're doing. Now, you can measure in a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to be a calculable linear measurement. It could be a measurement that would say, like, when your doctor asks you on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your pain level? 1 being very, very low, 10 being unbearable, right? Now, they've just given you a scale by which to measure what your goals, what that pain level is. And if your goal is to get you to a pain level of, say, 3, which you feel is tolerable, then you can go, okay, I'm at a 6 today, but I want to be at a 3, doc. And so with the prescription, or with some exercises, or with some changes in my diet, I might get myself down to a pain level 3. Now you have something to shoot for, right? You know what that is, right? And if you can say, okay, I want to be there by the end of next week, I got to get this pain under control. I got to get it down to at least a 3 so I can function. That becomes a goal, and it's measurable. So anything that you could think about in levels is something that you can measure. People think, oh, I can't measure feelings. Yes, you can. Stop saying that. You can measure almost anything. Third question, and I already mentioned this. What accountability systems should you have in place to measure your progress, to give you a kick in the pants when you need to remind you of what you're supposed to be doing? These are things, we'll consider all accountability systems. What accountability systems do you have in place to help you with your goals? Is it the note on the refrigerator that goes, hey, don't forget, you got to do this by XYZ time? Or is it that note you put on your mirror in the morning as you brush your teeth in the morning? I got to hit my big 3 today, whatever my big 3 is. These are the 3 things I got to do every day to be successful. Don't forget the big 3, whatever that is, whatever reminds you of your goals, and whatever keeps you focused on your goals, or whatever moves you into the zone where you're thinking about and working towards your goals. These are accountability measures. It could be your person. It could be your friend that calls you every once in a while and say, hey, you said you were doing blah, 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 blah. How's that going? Talk to me about that. What do you need help with? It could be accountability. It could be a referral source that you bumped into, or a stakeholder that you bumped into, and you gave a brilliant elevator speech or story you told, and invited somebody in to see more about what you're doing and all that kind of stuff. And after doing so, they decided, I want to help this person. But now you got to figure out how to tell them what it is you're trying to do, right? And you need to be specific. It needs to be measurable. It needs to be achievable, relevant, timely, back to SMART, right? All those things. So goals help you keep an accountability. Goals help you determine how fast you should be moving. If you got a goal that's a 6-month out goal, maybe you think about that right now, and maybe put it on the back burner because you got a 3-month goal that's more important to work on. Depending on the severity, depending on the intensity and the value of your goals, then that's how you measure, that's how you judge the pace at which you're going to attack it. Some things you need to work on every day, a little bit every day, maybe 15 minutes every day, or 10 minutes or 5 minutes every day. But as you get closer into the thing and you realize that you might be behind, you want to increase your intensity. You maybe want to go for 30 minutes a day. Either way, you want to make sure that you're using goals as a checkpoint to the pace of your execution, because it helps you to know I'm off track. I'm not getting there. I don't feel like I've put enough time in. You got to measure that. How much time did you spend on this? How much time you spend on that? If it's a big goal, you need to break it down to the smallest components as possible, and you need to hit each one of those components as accountability measures. I call them checkpoints to move you forward, right? So that way you'll know that you have a pace of achievement and you see how you're achieving things. And guess what? As you achieve more, you start to feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit maybe even cocky about how you can do things. And it starts to happen immediately. You start to become a machine because you see yourself moving towards your goal. And the more closer you get to your goal, the faster you're going to want to move. And the faster you're going to want to move, the faster the pace of your goal is going to come towards you. And sometimes you need to slow down because you're putting too much effort and energy into something. And sometimes you need to speed up because you're not giving enough resources to it. Whatever that is, it's the pace and it's the intensity. Goals help you do it, help you determine how fast you should move. Goals help you determine the sequence of events that will bring you closer to your goals, right? Because sometimes you can achieve goals that are out of sequence, and that's okay because there's nothing it's not a prerequisite to something else that you need to do. But sometimes your goals, there are prerequisites to little smaller goals that you need to hit before you can get to the bigger goal. And so you have to be able to, when you look it all out, lay it all out, you need to be able to say, okay, I'm going to do this before that, and then that before this, and then this before that, and this before that. For example, if you have an outfit that you're trying to get into, right? And you know you got to lose maybe 30 pounds to get into that outfit, get down to a certain size to get into that outfit. You bought that outfit and you want to wear it for an event that's coming up in 6 months. Well, guess what? You got to have a pace of achievement of that weight loss, or you're not going to get into that outfit. You might want to have that outfit altered, to fit the body that you're going to be. But you won't know that until you get into the pace of your achievement. It's the same with everything. If you decide I want to do X, Y, Z, whatever the X, Y, Z is, if you believe it's achievable, you got to think it's achievable right up front, right? But if you believe it's achievable, then go ahead and set that goal. And now you have to start measuring your execution, your pace toward that goal. That's kind of what I'm bringing at. A lot of times people hire me to help them not to set their goals and but to stay on pace to achieve their goals. That's my job, is to help them figure out how to keep that pace and keep that effort going in a way that they can feel like they're going there. They're going to make it. Because if you have a goal that you have no hope of getting to, really, that's depressing. And you have to really figure that out. You really have to make sure that you got what it takes to move forward. And sometimes you can't even see what you got to move forward. That's where a good coach comes in. That's going to remind you that, you know what, you do have gifts, you do have talents. And if you learn to put those talents and those gifts on the right trajectory, they will lead you to a huge amount of success. And so it's your job to stay motivated and to stay present and on the way. A good fraternity brother of mine used to say, if you're not on the way, you're in the way, right? When it comes to goal setting, that's so super important for all of us to know. You're on your way to what? What are you on your way towards? And how does the rest of us know? And how can we help you, right? Super, super important. The next question that your goals can answer for you after you get to the sequence of events is, does your goals help you set a quality of your life inside of someone else's vision? Because you can have a vision for yourself, and that would mean that there's certain goals that you have to hit toward the trajectory towards that vision, right? But there's some kind of vision. Sometimes you're in a vision that somebody else has designed because you're working for them, or you're working along with them, or you're being a partner for them, and they have a vision for how they want things to go, and you have to now work inside their vision. So how many of your goals and their goals align? It's brilliant when your personal vision and the vision of your friends and associates and other businesses that you might be a part of kind of align together. And so for that short period of time, you can work together because you're working on the same goals at the same pace, and the pace matches your pace and everything works well. You have a good alignment, right? I'm going to use that word again. You're going to see that word again as we talk about this in the future sessions. So it's so super important that you use your goals even to validate that you're in the right organization or you're in the right space. Because if the goals that the organization wants you to achieve or do doesn't add to development of your skills, development of your passions, to move yourself forward, that you can see a connection between who you are, who you want to be, and the vision and the goals that are laid before you within your organization, you might have a disconnect there. And you might want to know about that, and you certainly want to change that before things become tragic and you stop performing well, or for whatever reasons, right? You stop performing well, and now all of a sudden you're in a risk of losing a job that you once coveted because it's just off. Your performance is off because you're not just hitting the goals. You don't even want to hit the goals. You're not doing the things that you should be wanting to do to be a valuable member and asset to that particular team. And so, yeah, you probably should go when you're no longer working inside the vision and doing well. So make sure your goal alignment right there. How much of the investment in time or money will it take in the long run to achieve your goals? Your goals should help you begin to figure out and determine that. If you're setting goals, then you're going to need resources to achieve those goals. And those resources are going to cost you time, talent, treasure. They're going to cost you time, talent, or they're going to cost you money. Whatever those resources are, is somehow you got to get it. And if those resources could be relationships, those resources could be opportunities for technology, could be anything that you can imagine, but it's always a cost to acquire resources. And the cost of acquisition doesn't necessarily cost you financially. It might cost you in time. It might cost you in the sharing of your own or other resources that another person may have to share with you, right? So anyway, it might cost you, some what they call street credit, right? It might cost you some. There's another term that I'm thinking about. It'll probably come to me when I'm talking about something else. Social credit. That's the term I'm thinking about. It may cost you some social credit. And so you might want to cash in some chips, some favors that somebody you've done for some other people. Man, that would dictate that you've actually done something of value for other people, right? And then they go, hey, remember that time I did this for you? I'm going to need you to do a little something for me, right? You can call that net tip when you've actually put out there in the universe something of value that others can benefit from, that others appreciate, right? So how much of your investment of time and money will it take in the long run? It should answer that. Your goals should help you answer that question. Your goals should also answer for you who you will need to recruit to help you. Like I said earlier, you might need resources, and people have those resources. So who do you need to get on your side that will help you marshal the resources that you need? Follow the resources. If somebody has, what you need in terms of, helping you be capable, maybe they can extend you a loan. Maybe they can invest in your business, and you can share a part of the proceeds of whatever it is you get from them. But if you have a good solid plan, a good solid strategy that you can share with people of means, then they could mean to help you out. Right? So it's so super important. But now you got to know how to recruit them. You got to know how to win their hearts and minds. And again, that starts with story, and that starts with your ability to articulate what it is you're trying to do, how you're trying to do it, what's the pace of your achievement going to be, how will they know you're winning. You have to really think all this stuff out, or you're not going to have a good plan, because there's no plan, by the way, it doesn't have goals, right? That's like essential to all planning. You got to have some goals. So it's going to answer you, who do you need to recruit you, right? The next thing that good goals will answer for you is the best way to identify resources that you're going to need. Then that's planning, right? You got to have your plan should say, okay, well, I don't have these resources. I need to have these resources, but I know these resources exist here. And so my plan then, my goal is to not just acquire the resources, but acquire the relationships I have to get to in order to make those resources possible. Super, super, super important to goal achievement, right? Being able to have, identify, acquire, and then utilize the right resources. The last question that goal setting should ask or answer for you is, what do I need to know to achieve this goal, and why? If you are setting goals arbitrarily that mean nothing to you, that you're not even going to value achieving, I got a feeling that you're not going to have the energy, you're not going to marshal the resources, you're not going to do what you need to do to execute well. Again, I'm an execution specialist. That's what I do. I help people execute on their plans, on their goals. And I find that most people don't have good plans. They don't have good goals. They don't have a good strategy. They don't have a good way to get to the things they want to get to. So this is why I have to help them articulate and learn all these things even before sometimes we go to work, because we need to know what we're working towards. We need to know what you're doing. My VisionQuest90 process is brilliant at helping people do that. Now, there are many things that people have written about goals. And over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to talk to you about some of the best ideas that have come from the famous quotes and the resources that I've been able to gather. And some of it's going to be repetitive of what I just said earlier. But I want you to know that, there's so much been written about this. about goal setting. And I'm going to start with just a simple fact. 2 facts I want to share with you about goal setting. Fact number 1, studies show that people who write down their goals are 6 times more successful than those who don't. So as soon as you write your goals down, you are automatically 6 times more successful than those who don't from the jump. So if that don't inspire you to go write your goals down for 2023, I don't know what is. Because for me, I'm like, really? It works just like that. It's just that simple. I can find you all the studies. I can point you all the examples. If you pay attention, I'll share with you and you can click through them yourself, right? But I'm thinking that's fact number 1. Fact number 2, I want to share with you about goal setting. And this one is super important. I told you were 6 times successful if you wrote your goals down. How much more successful do you think you might be if you not only wrote your goals down, but you shared them with people who matter? Now, I'm not talking about anybody and everybody, because I don't want you willy-nilly going off sharing your goals with everybody. I want you to share your goals with people that matter. Now, the next question you have to ask yourself is, who matters? Who matters is your stakeholders. These are the people who have a stake in what you do and how you live your life and run your business. This is your family. This is your friends and associates, your community. They're all stakeholders in your business. There is no business without them. There's no reason for business without them, right? So think about that. These are your major stakeholders. Do they align? Are they aligned with the goals? Do they know what your goals are? Do they know what you're trying to do? Then there are people that should be your stakeholders. These are potential referral sources. These are potential supporters. These are your biggest clients, right? These people are also stakeholders in your business. And they got to know what your goals are, what you're trying to do. So I'm going to tell you, and this is what I've discovered, you're 9 times more successful if you write your goals down and you have a network of people that you've expressed your goals to. Yeah, 9 times more successful. For those of you who are math people, that's like 900% growth. Think about that. So how fast do you want to get there? How badly do you want to achieve your goals for 2023? You're going to need to have a brilliantly articulated plan, and you're going to need to have the right people. So you have to share that plan with the right people so that people can see it, be a part of it, get in there with you and lean in. Now that takes on a lot of principles that we're going to share with you at a later date. But I want to talk to you about some of the things I've personally learned about goal setting outside of the SMART goal world. This is sort of, for lack of better terms, the coach power wisdom when it comes to goal setting. The stuff that's missing that a lot of coaches and development people don't even know to tell you about. I'm going to tell you about it right now, next few minutes. There are 2 things that you got to do exceptionally well when it comes to your goal setting. 2 qualities that your goal setting have to have. And I'm not going to be able to go into great detail in the time we have left today, but I will be able to share just the 2 ideas that I hope you peek in next week, and we'll go through and we'll flesh it out in great detail. Number 1, your goals must be people-centric. Means they must be about you, but they also must be about others. If you're setting goals that are just about you and no one else, they don't have as much power as they need to have in order for you to recognize and realize. And I said that, you'd be 6 times more successful by just writing the goals down. But we're talking about now just developing the goals in a way that is going to ensure that success. Because obviously you have to do something. You have to do more than just write them down. Writing them down is super, super, super important, but you got to do more than that, right? And so how do you write them down, and who do you share them with, and how do you make them happen? If your goal is developed with other people in mind, not just yourself, but other people, and you share that with them, I guarantee you they're going to have tons more power and energy than if you don't. That's thing one. I've discovered that. That's why I'm a specialist in networking and helping people establish and create and generate more opportunities through the networks than probably many people that you ever seen or know. The second thing is your goals must be aligned to a couple of key ideas. They must be aligned to your vision. They must be aligned to your mission. They must be aligned to your habits, and they must be aligned to the people that you hope to benefit or serve. So that's where those two things come together with the people part, right? But alignment is super, super important for your goals. Because if you find that your goals don't align with your mission, and you've adopted them, and they don't align with which is your sense of purpose, and they don't align with your vision, which is your sense of destiny, and they don't align with your people, which is your sense of connectedness, and they don't align with your habits, which is who you are and what you do on a regular, consistent basis, then guess what? These goals are not going to be very, very useful. They're not going to be easy for you to achieve, and you're not even going to recognize the success when you get it, because you're out of alignment, and you certainly won't last the long haul in terms of the intensity and the maximum effort that you have to give. Super, super, super important. You got to do it. All right, so we've come to the end of our session. Again, if you have any questions, put that information in the chat. If you have anything you want to share, put that information in the chat. The chat's going to be available and open way after this presentation is over. So it's not like you're losing anything. And if you want to come back to it, you can come back to it over and over again. If you want to check out some of the other videos that we've done, please do so. They're on Facebook, they're on YouTube, they're on LinkedIn, they're searchable. So you should go back to that content and do that. Next week, we're going to get into the details of creating people-centric goals and aligned goals, because I really want you to understand and get that. And I got lots of documents and examples and stuff to share with you guys. I hope you had a great time. I know I did. It is about 3:48. We're going to end our session a little bit early today, but I hope you're excited for where we're going to go for the next couple of weeks. Because after we finish goals, we're going to get into mission. And then when we finish mission, we're going to move into, creating the right habits. And when we finish the habits, we're going to get into designing the people parts of your entire strategy, right? How do you find the right people that you need to bring on board, either as an employee or a friend or an associate or, a collaborator, whatever you want to be able to do. We're going to share all those secrets and all those tools with you. So don't keep this a secret. Let everybody else know that, hey, you're going to come see Coach Powell on Friday at 3 o'clock. It's going to be an amazing opportunity. Sometimes I got some pretty good guest speakers, and I'm going to have some guest speakers come and show up for you. By the way, I'm going to make you put this in the conference thing. If you haven't got your tickets to Leverage Up conference, and I already shared this with you, I want to make sure you have the opportunity to do so, because the early bird tickets are going to go away quick, and I don't want anybody to miss out on this who could use it. It's going to be a great conference. You can check it out on this link. Get your coach, get your tickets, share with other people. If you want some other people to come and you want to be able to share the conference with them, you can just post and copy and share this link anywhere you want to. Share it on Facebook, share it on LinkedIn, all the major social media outlets, whatever. I don't care. And because the more the merrier. This is all about helping entrepreneurs and business leaders get a leg up and leverage themselves into the next year and the next decade in a way that they can't without this information. And so, we're making it easy, accessible. We're making easy. If you know anybody who wants to be a partner with me on this event, I'm looking for some banks, some insurance companies, possibly some internet service providers or of some type who really want to affect change in the small business arena. I'm looking for those types of institutions and organizations that are also B2B type of organizations. They'd be great sponsors. So if you know anybody, let me know, because I'm looking forward to making this bigger and better every quarter as we move throughout the year. God bless you. I had a good time. I hope you did too. And I'm signing off. See you guys later.